Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Debt Free Me. It is payday, so you know what that means? It means it is time to create another monthly spending plan. So this is where I'm going to walk you through my real numbers and assign every dollar a job, so that way I can make sure I am meeting all my financial goals. If this is something you're interested in, please stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Yana. I am a 35-year-old mom and wife to one girl. I am also a nurse. I am a salary employee, so I only get paid once a month. So that's why it is very important for me to allocate my funds appropriately. So let's go ahead and create the spending plan. So this paycheck is going to have to last me from April 25th until May 24th. For my income, I do get a paycheck and I am going to budget $5,900. If you're not new here, you know that usually my husband will give me money. However, going forward, I am not going to budget or allocate any funds that he may give me, just because the last 2 months he have not been able to fulfill the obligation of giving me the money that he normally have been. And when that happens, I have to kind of move money around from different categories. I don't want to do that anymore, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to allocate the funds that I get from my paycheck. If he happens to give me any money throughout the month, then and only then will I go ahead and allocate those funds within my spending plan. Me and my husband do not share finances. It's been like that and it probably will stay like that. So let's go ahead and jump into these bills. So for rent, I am putting aside $1,513. Now, we do not own a home. The reason why I started my debt payoff journey was because I wanted to buy a home. That was when I realized just how much debt I was in, and I realized it didn't make sense to get more in debt with a mortgage when I was drowning in credit card debt and student loan debt. So buying a home is my ultimate goal. Creating my spending plans has helped me stay on track with paying off my debt, because if I don't know where my money is going, how am I going to pay off my debt? So that's why I continue to make these monthly spending plans, and I just know it's going to help me get to my goal because I've already paid off so much debt. Alright, next bill is my energy bill. My bill is usually high in the winter time and it usually gets lower in the summertime. So last time it was about $170. So this time I'm going to put aside $160 and hope it's lower than that. For my life insurance, I put aside $55 for that every month. I do put an offering every week in worship services, so I am going to put aside $500 for that for the month of May. And for my Nana's mortgage, I am putting $36 aside. No, her mortgage is not $36. My Nana has a home and some land that she willed to me and my siblings, but my nephew has decided to live there with his wife, and so he pays the mortgage. However, last year they did increase the mortgage by $36, and so instead of charging him the $36, I decided that I would just pay the $36, the difference. So that's why my Nana's mortgage is $36 on here. For my expenses category for food, I am putting aside $700. That has been working pretty well. The only time I go overboard for my food expenses is when I do not create a meal plan for the week, and then I just end up spending a lot of money. So I'm going to try to make my meal plans and buy only what I need and make sure I use up everything that I have before buying more. Next is the hair section. I do pay for me and my daughter to get our hair done. And so I am going to put $250 aside. I generally do $300, but we still have some money left over from last month, so I don't want to put unnecessary money towards this category if it's not needed. For my daughter expenses, I pay for her school lunch, so I am going to put $105 aside for the month of May. Car gas, oh boy. Okay. Gas prices was crazy not too long ago. I literally paid $50 to fill up my car at one point. So I'm kind of worried about how much I would need to put for gas. I do plan to do a little bit more driving this month. I do have some things planned. I did put aside $180, which is a little bit higher than my $150. I'm hoping it'll be a little bit less than that, but we will see. Household, I'm putting $100 aside for that. For takeout, $100 aside for that. For medical, I am putting $50 aside for my medication copays. I do not have any appointments, nor do my daughter have any appointments coming up for the month of May. For my massage, I am putting aside $110. That's going to cover the membership fee, as well as the tip that I'm going to give to my massage therapist. I did want to put my account on hold so I could save a little bit of money. I am going to put this on hold for at least 6 months. I think that's all they allow us to do is 6 months. I've done this before in the past when I've tried to save money, and so I think I'm going to do it again. That's a little over $600 at the end of 6 months. So I want to do that to try to reach my financial goals. The Raymond and Brown concert. I want to enjoy my summer, honestly, you guys. I felt like I've spent last summer just working, and I didn't really get to enjoy it. I have a couple of things that I already have planned out for the summertime. I am going to go to that Chris Brown and Usher concert. I've already bought the tickets. The tickets was $310.76. I brought 4 tickets. I brought a ticket for myself, for my sister, for my friend, and my sister-in-law. My friend and my sister-in-law is going to pay me for the tickets, and my sister, she's only going to pay $200 for her ticket instead of the $310 because she didn't want to go over $200. She don't like to spend her money on that type of activities. But because she told me that she had $200 that she would spend, I went ahead and brought her a ticket, and I just thought that I would cover the other $110 for her so that she could go and enjoy herself as well. The full cost of my ticket was $310.76, and then with me paying the other $110, that total was $421.52 that I have to pay out for my tickets. So then for me, I put aside, well, technically I didn't put aside anything for me. I got the leftovers. When I had completed a rough draft of what I wanted my monthly spending plan to look like, I left this blank, and I came back to it after I had allocated all of the funds. So I got what was left over, which was $54.48. Now going over to my savings, this is where you're going to see a change. All the month of April, I have been thinking about how I can tweak my finances to better serve me. I have said in the past, people have their hands in my money pot. I want to kind of switch that or change that. And I want to start paying myself first, as I mentioned in one of these previous videos. I feel like this is a season where I've paid off all my credit card debt, and I need to really try to set myself up for the future and increase my emergency fund, because I have a daughter that needs to be taken care of no matter what goes on or what happens. An emergency fund is important. Now, I've been building up my emergency fund over the past few years, but this time I really want to take it up a notch. And I also want to save for my daughter as well. So I have a high yield savings account for my daughter. I have a high yield savings account for myself, which is my emergency fund. For my daughter, I am going to put aside $100 for her, which is a little bit lower than what I normally want to do, but I have a plan. I am going to build up my emergency fund first, and then I'm going to work on her high yield savings account. For myself, I am putting aside $1,000. My goal is to save $10,000 for my emergency fund. If I put $1,000 a month for 6 months towards my high yield savings account and my emergency fund, I will have saved $10,000. And I think it's doable. I was putting $1,000 towards my credit cards. If I could pay those credit cards companies $1,000 a month, I could pay myself $1,000 a month until I reach my goal. Travel, I do want to make essential because, like I said, I didn't get a chance to really enjoy my full summer last year, so I want to do that now. So I do want to put money towards traveling. However, for this month, travel will get nothing. Moving right along to my investment section, I want to start investing. The earlier you start investing, the better. I am 35, so I have lost at least a decade of getting that compound interest. And so I want to start investing. Back in January, I did open a Fidelity brokerage account. I wanted to put $25 in there, and I ended up putting $28 in that brokerage account. I want to start investing every month. My goal was to put $100 in there. However, when I was working the numbers, it just didn't seem like that was going to work out. So I am going to put $65 in my brokerage account so that it could start growing for me. I know that if anything happens, I could pull from it, but I don't want to. The goal is to just let it sit. So by the time I retire, I can have some money, or even if I give the money to my daughter so she could start her life, I will be okay with that as well. But what I don't want to do is to not have anything else to lean on. And I don't want to have to pull from my retirement fund early because of the penalties. All right, moving on to the debt section. No, I don't have any credit cards, but I still have student loans. And I wanted to put $500 towards my student loans this month like I did last month, but I just wasn't able to put it in this monthly spending plan. So I am putting aside $300, and I'm hoping as the months go on, I'll be able to adjust to increase that to $500. Now, the next debt I have is a lawyer bill. I have never mentioned this before, but me and my siblings did have to get a lawyer for some estate issues going on with my granddad, and so we need to pay them. And so I figured putting aside at least $100 every month would help. So that's what I'm going to do. Put aside $100 and I'll send it in. You can see I have no money remaining left to budget. For my budget breakdown pie chart, I am putting 6.8% of my income towards debt, 1.1% of my income towards investments, 18.6% of my income is going towards savings, and 35.1% of my income will be going towards my expenses, and then bills will get 38.4% of my income. So that is the plan, and once I come and close out this monthly spending plan and I put in my actual numbers. This will generate a pie chart and I can see if I stayed on track with what I budgeted. Now going over here to my income summary. As you see for my budget, I did budget $5,900. And for those who realize that my income decreased, the reason why my paycheck decreased is because starting in April, I increased a percentage more to go towards my Roth. So they are taking more money out of my paycheck to go towards my retirement fund. So that's why I have about $100 less than what I normally would be budgeting. For my bills, I have allocated $2,264 towards those. For expenses, I have allocated $2,071. For my savings, I have put aside $1,100. For investments, I put aside $65. And for debt, I am allocating $400. When I'm closing out, you can see my actual, what my actual numbers will be, and then what will be the difference between what I budgeted and what I actually put towards each categories. So if you are still here, please drop a pink heart in the comment section. I also would love if you would leave a comment saying what your financial goals are. Have your financial goals changed and are you pivoting like me? Or are you just staying the course? So thank you all for sticking around for this long one. I truly appreciate it. Thank you all for watching. And if this is something you're interested in, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel, hit a like, and also leave a comment down below. I'll respond. I hope you guys have a good evening. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.